Okay, so the first step in building a business for new financial advisors is to create a vision for your business. Hopefully you've done that. You put it on paper, and in that vision statement you put a why behind the what. So that's already done. Now, step two then is to create a plan, a business plan. Now, I'm not going to take time in this video to walk you through a business plan. Most of you get plenty of coaching on how to create a plan at your branches. That's not what I'm going to talk about here today. But what I would like to talk about is what I think is the most fundamental part of that business plan. It's this. For new advisors, non-negotiable, is you've got to set that plan up so that you are seeing 5 to 10 people every week. However you do it, whatever the plan is, that's the goal. That's the means, that's the end that you're trying to accomplish. 5 to 10 people every week. One to two a day, non-negotiable. You know, so often I see these great business plans that people will send over to me, and I talk to you a month, 2 months into the business, and I say, well, this is good. It all looks good. Best laid plans of mice and men, but at the end of the day, how many people are you seeing? How many people have you seen? And so often I hear things like, well, I saw 2 people last week. I've got 2 appointments for this week. Guys, that's not enough. It's not enough to make it in this business. So again, it's non-negotiable. Minimum of 5, ideally 10 people a week is what the plan has got to be around. Your business model has got to be around that. So how do you do that? What kind of a plan do you set in place to get in front of 5 to 10 people a week? Well, my suggestion, and I think one of the mistakes that new advisors make, is we try to build our business model around simply 1 or 2 campaigns. You know, I hear it all the time. I said, well, I'm going to build my business through networking. Well, networking's fine, but it's not the only way to build a business if you're new in the industry right now. It's one of the pillars, but it certainly isn't the only pillar. You know, I hear people all the time say, well, I'm going to build my business by setting up strategic alliances. That's great. Quite frankly, it's not realistic right now for a new advisor to do that. But if that's going to be one of your pillars, fine, go for it. But it's just one of your pillars. I'm going to suggest that you have 3, 4, maybe even 5 different pillars that you're building your business around right now. Some of you are going to build a business through seminars. Some of you may need to do a little cold calling. I'm not a big fan of that, but you might need to do that. Some of you have a lot of natural prospects that you know from your past life, friends and family. That's going to be one of your pillars. If you have the luxury of working on a team, maybe you're working the bottom of an existing advisor's book, that would be a great pillar. But in any event, you want to make sure that you're building your business and your model around 3 or 4 different campaigns. Measure where your success is. How many people are you talking to? How many appointments are you going on? How many accounts are you opening from those different campaigns? Measure it, and then you come up for air after about 90 days. You see, this is working better than this. I spent a lot of time over here, but I didn't get a lot of results from it. Well, stop doing it. But you got to have a number of different campaigns that you're working on to start your business. I think most of you know that right now. Now, let me give you a great best practice that I'd love to see you implement. And I picked this up from a Merrill Lynch manager. He's on the East Coast. He does some great coaching with his team. And I tell you what he suggests, he requires of his new financial advisors. He requires that when they show up on Monday morning, they must turn into him a sheet that has 15 prospecting sessions already laid out for that week on that sheet of paper. 15 prospecting sessions a week. And for you as a new advisor, I'd love to see you get in that same discipline. Now, let me tell you what a prospecting session is. A prospecting session, and by the way, it doesn't have to be 15 different prospecting sessions to different campaigns, to different niches. It's 15 proactive prospecting sessions every week. Now, a prospecting session could be something as simple as Monday morning from 7:30 to 9:45. I'm going to walk into industrial parks, and I'm going to walk in and try to meet the business owners and talk to them about what I do. That would be one prospecting session. And then when I get back to the office, I check my emails. And I follow up on any things that I've sent out. And then my next prospecting session could be from 11 to 12:30. And maybe from 11 to 12:30 I have a corporate directory. Boeing is in my backyard. I might need to be calling into that. I do that for an hour and a half on Mondays. And then from 2:30 to 4:45 I have my third prospecting session. Maybe I have a lot of people that I know from my natural prospects, an alumni list, and I'm going to call into that. And then on Tuesday I have similar campaigns, but I do something different. But every day I have 3 prospecting sessions already lined out. You know, so by the time that I leave on Friday afternoon, I know exactly where I'm going on Monday morning, and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. Too many of us show up in the office on Monday morning. It's like, Well, what do I do today? What do I do this week? If you buy into this notion about setting up 15 prospecting sessions, you don't have to worry about that. Now, what I would suggest is those 15 prospecting sessions are divided out over 3 or 4 different niches or campaigns that you're going on. So let's say one of my campaigns that I'm going on is I have a big list of natural prospects. Inside a folder, what I would suggest is I'd have all the names of the people that I'm going to call, the people that I know from my past life, and even on the outside of the folder, I might even have my script. What am I going to say when I call them? I don't want to have to think about that when I pick up the phone. Maybe another one of my niches, I'm calling into Boeing. Well, I have that list, I have that directory, and on the outside of that folder, I know exactly what I'm going to say when I call them. So I don't have to think about it. I know that when the bell rings at 7:45 on Monday, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing. And I know exactly where my 15 prospecting sessions are going to be this week. You know, if I call you up, if I'm coaching you, I call you up and I say, what is your second prospecting session on Wednesday? You know, if you've got this thing nailed, what you say is, well, Jack, what I'm going to do on Wednesday at 1 o'clock from 1 to 2:45 is, as you know, I work with a senior advisor and he's allowed me to work the bottom third of an existing client's book. So I'm going to be calling that C book and I'm going to be suggesting they come in for appointments to do a review. And I know exactly what I'm going to say and I'm exactly how I'm going to invite them in here and when I'm going to try to set those meetings. If you've got that much discipline when you start your plan each week, I promise you're going to be off to a fast start. So step 2 in building a successful business is you got to have a plan. Make sure the plan incorporates getting in front of a minimum of 5, ideally 10 people a week to tell your story. That plan encompasses anywhere from 3 to 5 different niches or campaigns. And then put that plan in place before you leave on Friday so that you know when you show up on Monday, I have 15 prospecting sessions. I know where my week is going to lead me to. Now, understand, you probably will not be able to work in all 15 plans as you have it organized, but at least you've got a direction when you start your week and you know where you're going to be heading. So step 2, put a plan together and get busy doing it. All right? Thanks for joining us.